Hello and welcome to Marketplace Tech Bytes, our weekly review of the biggest stories making headlines across the industry. I'm Lily Jamali. This week on the show, Amazon pushes its Just Walk Out technology beyond its own empire. The UK moves to make explicit deepfakes an offense, and the creator economy gets the attention of venture capitalists. Helping me to dig into all of that this week is Natasha Mascarenhas. She's a reporter at The Information. Hey, Natasha, welcome back.
Hey, so great to be here, Lily. Thanks for having me.
Have you. Well, we're going to begin, as we always do, with our bite of the week. This is one number that offers some insight into the week in tech. Natasha, what have you been thinking about this week?
Well, I apologize that I'm starting with a downer, but I can't stop thinking about the number 10. 10% of Tesla employees were impacted by layoffs earlier this week. Thousands of employees, even though it may not sound like a big percentage compared to some of the other ones we've been seeing across the industry, this impacted thousands and thousands of workers.
Yeah, huge tech story this week. I have one as well. Mine is 140. That's the number of third-party stores. That is stores that don't belong to Amazon that use its Just Walk Out technology. These are stores in the UK, the US, of course, Canada, and Australia. And this Just Walk Out technology, as it's called, it lets customers scan an app to enter a store and leave without paying at the register. So when I say 140, I mean locations, not retail chains, actual physical stores. Amazon is planning to push this cashierless shopping technology into more stores that are not part of its own, its own chains. And Natasha, got to ask, your outlet, the Information, reported this past month that this technology relies on reviewers in India to monitor shoppers. Give us the background there.
Yeah, for sure. So our fantastic reporter, Theo Waite, reported and broke the news that Amazon was actually backing away from Just Walk Out technology in its own stores. Eventually we've now learned that it is expanding to other stores, as you said. But in order to bring up the point on the workers, because I think that's what got a lot of headlines, Theo actually called back to the story that he had written mid-2022, which was that Amazon had more than 1,000 people in India whose jobs included training the Just Walk technology, labeling images and videos. Amazon has, refuted claims that it relies on people, but, just like building any AI tool, oftentimes humans need to be in the mix, whether it's labeling the technology or, after the fact for quality assurance.
Right. And Amazon said in a release, associates don't watch live video shoppers to generate receipts. That's taken care of, they say, automatically by the computer vision algorithms. But then they kind of doubled back and said that human reviewers are necessary to help improve accuracy. Make of that what you will. But, it's really interesting, the point that you make about they are getting some bites from third parties, even as they plan to take the technology out of their own fresh stores, at least here in the United States. How does that work?
Yeah, I think Amazon's retail strategy is something that we're constantly following at The Information. I will say that it doesn't surprise me to see Amazon trying to find a new way for something that they spent many years working on to stick. Amazon is pretty famous for its wanting to be everywhere strategy, whether that's, seamlessly showing up on your doorstep in 2 days, or getting groceries into your fridge, doorbells. I am not surprised to see them try and expand their physical footprint elsewhere. But of course, for fair reason, I think it says something that it walked away from some of its own internal usage of it and is trying to do it via third party. Maybe it comes down to it being the easier technology to manage outside of its own stores.
Yeah, I mean, this point you make about the physical footprint, it's this ongoing theme with Amazon. Executives just don't seem satisfied by dominating shopping online. There's always this fascination, this interest in dominating brick and mortar. They try all these different concepts, and a lot of the times they don't work all that well. Why do you think they keep coming back to this?
Yeah, right. It's like a story as old as time, I feel like. I mean, I think, it sounded like magic when it was announced. And I think that's also a part of it, right? Like just walk out, just pick an item and then, walk out and pay in a super frictionless manner always sounded magical. I think the reality is a lot of magic, even in AI, requires, humans and it requires labor. I just find that just because we have a new term around generative AI or investments in dollars going towards AI, I still see these bigger AI companies that I follow needing to hire lots and lots of heads. And so I just feel like it's the same story.
Well, some of the places you might see this just walk out technology coming up include Hudson News, that place, the stores you see at the airport. So don't forget to smile for the cameras, Natasha. That's my advice to you.
I can definitely appreciate, my red eye not needing to talk to people, though.
Indeed. Well, on to our second story. The United Kingdom is moving forward with making the creation of sexually explicit deepfake content an offense. And this new law that they're passing there comes with fines and even jail time in some cases for violators. Interested in hearing your take on this, because it's one thing to crack down on the distribution of such images, but this is targeting their creation, regardless of whether the creator planned to share them or not.
Right. I think in a world where we are seeing cybercrimes tick upwards and AI proliferate so largely, generative AI and deepfakes have this, huge overlapping Venn diagram. I mean, they're almost synonymous in a way. I actually find the distance between creation and distribution to not be that large, right? I think where, how photos are created and how simply they're created can lead to, creation being distributed in, the snap of a finger. And so I'm not surprised to see it actually happen earlier on in the life cycle of a world where we can just type in a sentence and generate an image or, do a little bit more and get something closer to a deep fake. And so when I saw this, I felt like it was trying to get closer to the butt of the issue, and it also kind of regulate a really hard thing to regulate. So, I think we often see this with the government. They're trying to target, something that people understand, but of course, I'm sure big tech wanted to try and self-regulate before the government got involved.
Right. Well, this seems to have, this law in the UK, political support across party lines there. Do you anticipate anything like this maybe being introduced here in the US? Maybe not at the federal level, but maybe one or some states.
I would not be surprised. I think that, all the governments look at each other, right? When the FTC announced that it was scrutinizing OpenAI and the Microsoft investment and the ties that these companies are having with each other, the EU and UK followed, closely behind. So I think that, China did this a few years ago. I won't be surprised that now that we're seeing the UK say something, and get close to something so specific, the other countries start to jump in as well.
Yeah, and this definitely places a spotlight on the harm that these deepfake images of this ilk can inflict on people. It's very real. All right. Well, thank you for that. On to our third and final story of the week. The Information, again, your outlet, reports the creator economy is once again hot within venture capital. Forgive me there. They have flirted with this before and they kind of got burned, VCs did, but some creators are actually getting some of that funding again. Here's a sample of what we're talking about. This is a clip from Dude Perfect, a group based in Frisco, Texas. Their YouTube channel has 60 million subscribers. Let's watch.
This is just special right here. I mean, the swag. I don't even know the exact situation you use it in, but I just love this guy's expression right here.
I had a salad.
I'm definitely gonna.
So hanging out and laughing at memes can come with a pretty substantial payday, Natasha. I don't know. Are you a fan of Dude Perfect?
It's hard to miss Dude Perfect, but I can't say I proactively seek out the group.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I feel watching it, I feel like I'm on a really bad first date that I just can't wait for it to be over. I'm like, how much more feigned laughter can these people generate? All right.
Oh my
Well, what
God.
is prompting investors to take the creator industry seriously once again? Because it looks like they really did in the first quarter of the year.
Oh my God, totally. I will be honest with you. I was very, very excited to see this headline pop up because, as I come on, every time I come on this show, I talk about it's all about AI. I love to see a counter trend. Dude Perfect is a great example of a group that is landing a lot of investor interest and ambition. I mean, they've launched toys at Walmart. They're doing ad-supported streaming services. They have plans for a 100 million amusement park. And so all of that to me does definitely screams venture interest because things are sticking for them. But I will say the why, and to answer your question more directly, we still are seeing AI companies. Two of the biggest rounds, 5 companies were responsible for 2/3 of the 628 million raised by creator startups globally in the first quarter. And 2 of those were AI companies, an AI voice tech company, and also a photo editing company. So,
Yeah.
I think it's almost like the creator economy trend is catching the AI bug itself, and that can explain some of the momentum.
Very interesting. And that stat that you just shared really shows how concentrated this activity is. Because on the other hand, we're seeing some startups in the creator economy space filing for bankruptcy. And so there's a real contrast there.
100%. I mean, we reported last month, I believe, that Cameo, which helps people buy videos from their favorite celebrities in exchange for a fee, had its valuation plunge around 90% in a huge cram down. I think there are more than enough examples now of creator economy businesses that are struggling. But the fact that we're seeing some part of it rebound, to me, says 2 things. One, investors are looking for bargains right now. They're looking for ways to put money into companies that still do have a business model that, maybe is a little bit more affordable. And 2, like I said, I think AI does not just, lead to more capital for large language model providers, like we just spoke about in our previous section around deepfakes. I think generation of content is still a business. It's a growing one. Some fears around it, but one that investors are excited about, nevertheless.
Yeah, for sure. Well, great insights as always, Natasha. Thanks for coming back.
Thanks for having me. Always fun.
That was Natasha Mascarenhas, reporter with the information. Thanks to all of you for watching Marketplace Tech Bytes Week in Review. Make sure to like this video and you can subscribe to us as well. We are at Marketplace APM on YouTube. You can catch us every Friday. Jesus Alvarado produced this episode, and I'm Lily Jamali. This is APM.